we're back. This is week 4 build that I'm in the process of doing. You may be able to see, here's one of the aft wing pieces that I worked on last week. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and continue building from where we kind of left off. And again, this is more sub-assembly than anything else going on right now. I'm going to go ahead and continue working on additional wings. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of mumble along, so to speak. Since the last week's build, gotten a couple of things in here. One of them I was using a old style type chair, and if you've seen any of the older TV series and whatnot, and I do mean older, like medieval type series, this is a folding type chair that literally you do this and the wood all expands out and whatnot. I believe the person that I bought it from called it a Michelangelo setup, but it's a gaming table setup is what it is, and not necessarily overly comfortable when it comes to sitting for any length of time. There's supposed to have been a cushion. Didn't come with it when I got it from the person. Supposedly another friend, she bought several of these apparently back in the day, and other friend that got one of them, who we think actually has the cushions and a couple other parts. Claims they looked through theirs, which they hadn't unboxed. It was still in their shed. But anyways, they claimed that they took a look at it and it didn't have the parts that were missing from mine. So ultimately I'll end up giving it back. But it was uncomfortable for any type of lengthy sitting. Bailey! Falcor. A couple of my boys going off. Anyway, so what I was getting on about is that I went ahead and found a chair on the website for Office Depot. And I'm not necessarily giving the tout necessarily to them. But they happen to have a chair that I liked. Staples also had similar chairs and whatnot. This chair is actually put out by Serta. Being a big guy, I kind of needed a chair that would go ahead and take the weight. Although I didn't necessarily need one that was rated for 400, I certainly needed something that was rated for more than 250. So, anyways, it showed up yesterday, as well as a plastic mat to put on the floor. And I didn't bother putting on the arms. But it's, like I said, it's comfortable. It's designed to go ahead and take more weight than what I am. I just found it kind of strange that Serta, I mean, I think of mattresses when I think of Serta. I don't think of chairs. Now there's that lip on that side. So, anyways, like I said, showed up. Put it up here, and very comfortable. if you're going to do any builds, it's important to kind of get your work area to be comfortable, because you're going to spend a lot more time than what you might think. Let's see, where is that side over that side? That's, as I alluded to before about the two sides not quite matching up, having to sand down carefully. Sometimes those sides are just barely out of alignment, and I'm taking my nail over the top, trying to catch, or see if it catches at all. And like I said, sometimes it's just hard to tell. But as I was saying, it's important to have a comfortable spot to go ahead and do your build. I'm lucky that the house that I'm in, my sister moved out years and years ago, and both my parents have passed away since, so I ended up inheriting the house that I grew up in. So it's got plenty of bedrooms. If anything, I probably need to go ahead and pick up white sheets to go ahead and put up on some of the furniture in some of the rooms. I know some of you might say, well, okay, well, if that's the case where you got more room than what you need, why don't you go ahead and move to someplace smaller? And that was something my father and I, after my mother's death, and it was just him and I here at the house, we actually considered that for a short time period. Then we came to a realization. Under California law, back in '78, the ballot proposition was passed by the citizens of the state, and it's referred to as Proposition 13, which basically limits the amount of tax the state can go ahead and claim on a piece of property. So basically what ended up happening is, from the time that you buy it, they can't increase the property tax by more than 2% per year. Well, I've been here since 1976. Some additional propositions were passed that allowed for the property tax rights to go ahead and be transferred from parent to child and parent to grandchild, child to parent, and parent, but not child to grandparent. So again, we knew about that particular law, and it is possible to go ahead and move from one property to another of equal value or less and have your property tax rights transferred along, but only if the county you're moving into allows it. There we go. And in California, there's only 2 counties that allow for it, and I don't remember which ones they are right now, but suffice it to say, where I live in Sacramento, they do not allow it. So we agreed that it's better to go ahead and stay here and deal with our unfortunate circumstance. Yeah, I know. You're probably saying, yeah, unfortunate my ass. don't get me wrong, I am very appreciative for what I have. So, anyways, as you may have kind of figured through listening to me over a little bit of time, that one of the things I like to do is I like to educate, and my job is in the education field. So everyone just learned a little bit about property taxes, at least here in California. Okay, I will admit these foam blocks are a little bit of a pain in the tush when it comes to doing a flat edge, which is the way I was holding it. There we go. Better. Not quite, but almost. Anyways, I was mentioning about, you know, having a good workroom to go ahead and do your models and whatnot. The room I'm in, it's a work in progress. I've got just about everything in here to go ahead and do my builds. It's just a matter of organizing things a little bit better. This little spot that I'm in right now is fine, but if you were to go ahead and take a look behind me, you'd be like, catastrophic malfunction. One of the things I've, as weird as it might sound like, one of the things that I've had to deal with over the years is to slowly go ahead and eliminate a lot of, I'm going to use the word junk, but it's not necessarily junk, that's in the house. Now granted, my father passed away, what, in 2002. My mother, 10 years prior, almost to the date actually, in 92. Where is that? Oh, there it is. And, you know, every once in a while I'll go through and get rid of a few things. You know, normal living in a house generates a certain amount of waste anyways. So I like to go ahead and keep good tabs on the bills and whatnot around here. So I find that, yeah, there is some there. So for one person in this area, you can go ahead and have, you know, 3 different sizes of trash cans. That's nice. So I have a trash can that's equal to the size of what I would need on a normal basis. And then when I'm got a light week, I go ahead and try to toss out a few other items. Of course, not all of it's left over for my parents. Some of it's just, you know, my stuff that, you know, wear and tear out. I think the biggest waste that I've got is boxes from Amazon and eBay. Unfortunately, the recyclers only come once every 2 weeks, so that lip is bad. the door open leading into the hallway. And I've got my Falcor. He's guarding the bedroom, or the hobby room I should say. Typical Lhasa Apso breed. The other boys are actually in the bedroom. Oops, nope. Bailey just jumped down, and looks like he's going to go downstairs, perhaps. Oh, I take that back. He came into here. Hello, Bailey. What are you up to, little Bailey boy? Put this down for a second. Now, don't get any ideas there, little guy. Okay, Falcor. If it looked like the camera was shaking there for a little bit, it was not an earthquake in California. That was a Falcorian tail hitting the tripod. Oh, and here's Toby over here on the other side of me. Alright. Let's see, let's grab paper towel. Last time I got into this glue bottle, had a little bit extra seeping over down the side. I think what was happening is, due to the humidity and the heat that we'd been having, it had been causing the air pressure to go ahead and change, and cause it to go ahead and spiral out just a little bit. Alright. There we go. Few drops in just the right location. Okay. That one goes like that. And just like last time, oops, that don't look good. There we go. I don't know if you can see that or not, but got that at a right angle. And although this glue takes a while to go ahead and dry, it can be pretty good about holding its shape. So, well, there's Bailey. He's having a little bit of a bark fest. Okay. Those two wings. Alright. That particular piece there, I know where that goes. The question is, which side does it go on? Okay, part 62, which is actually part of the intake. something like your visor going ahead and falling down on top of your glasses. Okay, so I'm not taking it in order as you already know. I'm kind of going ahead doing some sub-assemblies first. And kind of dealing with parts that were, kind of fell off the trees in advance. Okay, 62 is the left-hand side, which goes to part number 40. Toby. Alright, so which one of you guys is number 40? You appear to be number 40. Yep. And you will go nicely into that little crevice there. Just kind of doing a dry fit to see how bad it is. Is bad. Not good. Yeah, looks like I'll end up filing down some of this area up here. Anywho's. Ouch. Okay, tighten the visor. That just a little closer. Always be careful when you're using your X-Acto knife. We're kind of doing some curving. It's always better to leave a little bit extra than it is to go ahead and take off too much. It's better to go ahead and sand down than to have to deal with putty and try to smooth it all out and whatnot. And easier. Alright. Here on the end of this piece right here, there's a little bit of extra flashing there. Want to be kind of careful because this model is actually kind of on the detailed side. It's got all the different rivet spots and whatnot on it. And of course, with the scale, those rivets are kind of on the small side. And I don't, or I prefer not, to go ahead and take any of them out. And yeah, I can go ahead and recreate them. And there's any number of different ways to go ahead and do that. One common way is to go ahead and take a little drop of glue, although I think that would probably be a little bit too big for the scale. Alright. Let's see how that merged up again. Okay, could take a little bit off of here. One of the things I like about model building is it takes patience. One of my favorite types of models to build used to be model ships. Didn't matter if they were plastic or, and I mean the sailing ships. It didn't matter to me if they were plastic or wooden. I enjoyed building them. And building the ship didn't necessarily take that much time, minus the painting. You know, you could have the ship built in a couple of days, you know, a week with a decent paint job. But then came my favorite part of the project, and the thing that my mother said drove her batty whenever she'd watch me, and that was going ahead and putting the rigging onto the ship. I always found that to be the most fun. Okay. I don't know if you can tell or not, but there is a hump right there across the top of that. Alright. I know the camera just died on me a few moments ago. But got the air intake there installed. Don't know if you can see it that well. But definitely we'll have to go ahead and do some putty fill on it. Main thing I wanted to do was try to get it as flush as I could up here. Of course, going ahead and fitting all the way around. So I'm glad I'm not trying to go ahead and light block it, because there's certainly enough light leaks in there. Anyways, I know this is going to die quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and let everyone go for today. New camera will be in on Saturday from what Amazon is telling me, so hopefully some better quality and longer lasting. Thank everyone for coming. Happy modeling. Take care. Bye-bye.